Because it's about to go down. Brian Voss will start the match, which means he will finish the match. Remember his win in Memphis. He thrives on getting up in the 10th frame, finishing, and throwing the shots he needs to win.
He asked for this moment. How can he respond? Double wood. 3-9 comes in high.
Not a good opening shot for Brian. That ball was left out of his hand, leaving the 3-9. Sticking with that same high friction bowling ball. And of course, the last time I said somebody was 100% on spares, they missed the 4-pin.
The curse of Randy by Brian. The curse of the Randino.
The curse of the Randino. Very nice. I like that.
$28 career titles. Almost $2.5 million amongst the incredible accolades. 6 majors. And a good start. Trips out the 4-pin. Hopes for a 7th major in the World Championship in 2 weeks.
See, Pete Weber had the higher average, even though Brian Voss did what he did in match play. Pete Weber, for the 18 games of qualifying, qualified number 2. Knocked down a lot more pins in qualifying. Pete's spare conversion a little shaky, though. 81.6.
5th time, Randy, they've matched up on TV. And 3rd time with a title on the line. Oh, 10 pin somehow doesn't fall with a late messenger.
This looks like a beautiful shot, clean off his hand, out to about the 8th board. Watch it come sawing back, leaving the late 10. The difference between what Pete Weber's doing at release and Brian Voss, Pete's rotating around the side, Brian's hand is much more up the back. What that translates to in the Dave Ryan is that Pete can go around it a lot more. Brian is going to have to use a little bit straighter line unless he starts rotating around the side as well.
There's the approach.
Hello.
He didn't like that ball. Was that a flight attendant? Bye-bye.
No, that was just a stone 9 that got tripped. You can see, even though Brian is playing in, he's going much more direct through the front part of the lane. Pete's going sideways through the front part as Brian's leaning, begging, and then he finally gets the nice break, tripping the 9.
And he leads the league in this. He's done that how many times today?
Nice.
3 or 4, I think we've seen it.
You see the difference of the change of direction down the lane. Brian Voss doesn't get near the back end that Pete Weber is getting, simply because of what each guy is doing with their hand at release. Brian's more roll, Pete Weber's more side turn.
Covers the mark nicely. So the amateurs competing at the Tar Heel Open this week. Jeff Wilson of Winston-Salem, North Carolina, not far from where we are here in Burlington. Billy Lucas from Silver City, North Carolina. Siler City, excuse me. And T.J. Jones of Danville, Virginia. All doing their best as amateurs this week in North Carolina. 3rd frame for Pete. Works on a spare. Doesn't get help with the messenger across the deck.
Watch his release. That hand is going to go flipping around the side of the ball right there. That gets the ball to push right. Fingers were a little clutched, trying to hit it, leaving the late 10 pin.
All right. Come on now.
Remember, we've got to watch for Pete Weber's hand being open at release. That's when his hand and release are the cleanest. With today's modern equipment, you don't lift on the bowling ball anymore. You open that hand and you get your hand out of it fast and clean. Thumb first, fingers last.
You saw the shot clock moments ago. Another player being threatened.
Open hand.
Release. Broke that down perfectly, Randy. And a perfect delivery for Weber. Flush in the pocket as he shreds the rack. A strike in his fourth frame. He and Brian Voss are battling for a PBA Tour title here in Burlington, North Carolina. Who emerges? We'll find out next. Points on the line today, 25,000. It all goes up, though, in 2 weeks, along with big bucks in Taylor, Michigan. Light.
To me, just a piece of equipment that does not return and does not allow him to open the lanes up. And Brian's more than capable of creating hook and throwing the ball right and having it get back. And I think there's an equipment issue. During the break, we were arguing back and forth, Paul Kaler, Nick Hogan, myself. There's got to be an issue with Brian Voss's equipment.
Trying to stay perfect. Multi-pins, fair conversion rate, not there. Head pin in the 10, stay up. So Brian Voss and what could be an absolutely devastating open frame for him in the 5th. Pete works on a strike. 5th frame for him now. Strike here, he's up 23 pins. Perfect.
Pete taking advantage of that strike. Now watch what he does with his hand. This was a shot where he left the weak 10. You see the fingers are going the other direction. Watch the next shot where the ball is perfectly dead flush. Now watch his fingers right there. You can see all 5 of them. Watch for Pete to open that hand. That tells you how clean the release is.
Sixth frame. Shreds the rack again. The emphatic response almost knocks the sunglasses off his face.
Almost knocked himself out. Here's where you're going to get a massive adrenaline rush, and Pete Weber's going to show you what it means to throw big shots under big-time pressure.
He's got a 3-bagger. 4th, 5th, and 6th. Now Voss responds to the open frame. Drifts high. Lots of trouble. 4-7, 10 up.
4-7, 10. Bad ball reaction for Brian Voss. Confused. Got to get the ball over here. Drive the 4 into the 10.
Hey. Oh, wow. Across the deck, nearly tripped out that 10.
In the first